Hey, says who main feed? It's Dan, surprise. Maureen and I, that's who I mean by when I say we decided that you deserve this week's Town Watch too, because you know what? It's all about Trump's guiltiness. So enjoy this Town Watch here on the main feed from your pals, Maureen and Dan. Town.
No.
Whoa.
See you tomorrow.
What was that voice?
See you tomorrow. Hey, guy. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Welcome
Town Watch
to
and
today,
main
tomorrow.
feed.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Where this is going wide.
Worldwide. It's like that little 1940s graphic of like a tower with like little lightning bolts coming out of it.
Exactly. We're going worldwide. We're channeling our inner Pitbull. Mr. Worldwide.
Okay. Trust you.
Pitbull is known as Mr. Worldwide.
When we were in France, we had a waiter who was very, we believe, stoned the whole time because he kept like taking our spoons and getting angry if we spoke French and then also getting angry if we spoke English. But
perfect.
Then eventually he was like, I went to school in Florida for 4 years and I am the top 1% of Eminem's fans on Spotify. And Spotify is going to save this election. Eminem is going to save this election. Then he gave us a whole lecture on Eminem.
The election in France?
No, America. And then he took our forks.
Okay. Thanks, guy.
It was really weird.
That is in fact very weird.
Yeah. Well, anyway, everybody, you asked for it. So the other night, shall we tell the stories of our Thursdays?
Sure.
Where were you on Thursday?
So where was I when the news dropped?
Yeah, how did it come to you?
I was actually packing Sticker Club stickers. So I was not on my computer or my phone. And then I noticed in a group chat that I'm on, somebody going, "Here we go." And I immediately knew what was happening. And I grabbed my phone and just as the verdict was coming in.
Dan, my Thursday wove into the story itself a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I got a bunch of work done early Thursday, and then I got these letters from the lawyer that I'm helping with the domestic violence case, and I was having to send all these letters to this lawyer, like, God damn it. Then I had to make a call to discuss all the stuff in the lawyer. And then I had to get my dog, Dexy, uptown to a specialized vet appointment that she has to go to once a year for her medication.
Okay.
And so I called for, I have to get a car because it's too far. And I called for an Uber Pet. And they're like, here in 5 minutes. And then they promptly drove 2 miles in the wrong direction. And then
perfect.
I kept trying to be like, this poor driver had no idea what was going on and kept driving the wrong direction. And we got in the car and we got stuck in traffic and we were 25 minutes late.
Okay.
For an appointment that cost $400 an hour, billed in 15 minutes increments, which fortunately insurance covers. Wasn't great. So then now we're all the way uptown. She passed her appointment. I was like, I'm just going to walk part of the way down back. And so I'm walking down 2nd Avenue in Manhattan with my dog. And I'm kind of, I'm looking at the shops and stuff. I don't go uptown to that area very often. I'm looking around. And then I glance over and some store, nail salon or bar or something had a TV on. And I happened to turn my head and saw on the Chiron, verdict reached. And I was like,
yeah.
And then I'm fumbling with my phone to try to get something.
Yeah.
Then I finally get a live feed of CNN or something as I'm walking. And so as I'm walking down Manhattan Street, I hear, I managed to get it hooked up in time to hear the verdicts being read out. And you could see people in Manhattan looking at their phones.
Yeah, I bet.
And you could tell who was seeing it.
Yeah.
And I saw 1 or 2 people immediately swerve into bars.
Yeah.
And you saw, and as you would walk by, as I kept going down many more blocks, people were already sitting and lifting glasses of champagne and taking photos. So I get home and I'm like, it's been a long day and it's been a slightly strange shaped day and I've lost a lot of time. But I'm like, this is too exciting. I will tell you, I did see the procession, the cars go by from the from the courthouse.
Trump's motorcade.
I saw the motorcade. I gave it the finger.
Yeah, you sent me a picture of you flipping them off.
And then I was like, I should have a drink. Like, we're all having a drink.
Yeah.
So I had a glass of wine. And so that's why, Dan, when you wrote to me that, should we record right now?
Yeah.
I was a little one glass of wine tipsy and was trying to like stumble around like, we need dinner and I'm excited and people are calling. And it was like, I had forgotten to look at my phone. I was like,
yeah.
I was like, whoa, dun, 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 and he'd gone by and it all felt so surreal. And for 1 minute, Dan, I was like, you know what? I think a lot of us felt this way. Let's just enjoy it.
Yep.
It was like, let's just, you know what? No matter what it means, no matter what happens next.
Yeah.
Let's just enjoy this.
Yeah.
Let's sit.
You gotta grab it for what it is.
Yeah.
And not for what it, potentially isn't.
Enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's there to be enjoyed.
34 counts is a lot of counts.
It was fun to hear them because okay. First of all, who owes me $5?
I owe you $5, Maureen, and I'm happy to pay up.
And you're lucky I'm not making you pay $5 per count because...
Well, yeah, that would add up.
That would be a lot of money. That's a lot of dole. It's the biggest dole whip they have.
It's true.
So yes, 34 counts. Okay. I thought he'd be guilty on some and not guilty on others because of some weird, like there was a paper clip on there, or you know what I mean, like that kind of thing. But I thought it would be mostly guilty. But as we're reading it, I'm like, he's like, I never know how to get money out of Venmo. So completely guilty on. Someone else sent me $20.
And it's $5 on Venmo,
and it's surrounded by oranges and the justice symbol.
Hang on, just a second.
See, I was going to collect it Disney, but thank you very much for the $5.
I'm good. I'm good on my word.
I mean, thank you, sir. I will take that $5.
So now that I'm done with that, to answer your question, I was surprised. I was expecting a scenario that we discussed on the main feed on Tuesday, which is guilty on some and not guilty on the others, and that would be predicated by what checks he signed and what checks he didn't sign.
Mm-hmm.
Guilty on all, honestly, is surprising. Like this was, and we've talked about this for the year plus that it's been going on. This case is not a good case, right? Like it was a shitty case. Largely,
I don't know if it was a shitty case. It was a very legal case. It was
making it a felony. Yeah, was a shitty case because like the falsification of business records, that was an easy case, and the only real question would be, did Dojo signing a check mean that Trump knew, right? Like, could you prove that? The thing that was always dicey about this case was making it into a felony, because otherwise it would just be a misdemeanor. It had to be a felony by New York law if you falsified business records to cover up another crime. And that crime was election fraud, or campaign finance fraud.
Right.
Because the payments to Stormy Daniels could be construed as an illegal campaign contribution. That part always felt difficult, like just like taking something and trying to turn it into something bigger than you could really prove well. But they did it. I mean, they were able to do it, and that part was surprising to me. But I'll take it.
I thought he was going to be found guilty. I just had a good feeling.
Yeah,
and also because he did that.
Right. I mean, that's the thing about it all is like, yeah, that's what he did.
My Oscar just came to take my coffee cup because I texted a big picture of a coffee cup.
Well, that's nice of him.
He's a very nice person. I don't know. Like, it was quite a feeling. It was it was a boost. Like, it was like everybody was having a nice time.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
And no matter what happens, because he's not going to jail. Like
No.
I mean, who knows? Like this was already like 34 count. Like it's unlikely that he's going to jail. It's not impossible, but it's unlikely.
Yeah.
But what is great is that no matter what, the Republicans have now saddled themselves with a convicted felon as their candidate.
I mean, not only have they saddled themselves with it, but in the days since, they are like further. Like they're not just saddling now; they're like running the whole rodeo. Like they are so connected and attaching themselves to him and to this being an injustice that even Mike Pence, of all people,
they were going to kill that guy
and said they were going to kill that man.
They were going to kill that man.
They were going to kill that guy.
Like in a serial killer movie, they were looking around the building for him so that they could kill that man.
He was a dead man walking.
And if he'd gotten in that car that they sent for him, he might not have made it out of there.
Oh, definitely not. They were going to kill that guy.
I would be less forgiving.
Yeah. And so that you've even got Mike Pence coming out and saying this is a travesty of justice and a rigged court and blah, blah, blah.
Well, Mike Pence will say anything. You give Mike Pence a quarter, he'll punch your grandma. He's this coreless being. Like he's just an empty whistling shell. There's nothing inside Mike Pence. He's like disappointing Easter candy where you're like, and then you tap it and it cracks to dust and it's full of nothing.
But yeah, they are fully strapped now. They are strapped to that rocket, but there's either launching or it's exploding.
You could tell there's some that are like, Jesus Christ. Like definitely. That they're just so like, that's what I enjoy is the ones who know they're like, great. Yeah. Now we're doing this.
Yeah.
Now now this idiot is a convicted felon. And now I got to go out there and dance for him.
Yeah.
And I love that for them. I love their humiliation. I love their I just love that they know how much this sucks.
Yeah.
Is it going to breed any self-realization?
No. This is not a crowd that's big on self-realization. If the last few years have proven anything, it's that.
I did call my mom to check on things, and she was like, she's so delighted. She's like, I'm just talking to all my friends. We're all having a wonderful time. She was so happy.
That's good.
But then I heard my dad in the background. And I was like, just leave the phone on. I just kind of want to hear. And I heard muffling in the background, him saying something like, that judge should be shot.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, well, he always reacts like that on the day of, like when Trump gets arrested. Okay. But then he tends to be like a little bit like, maybe he's not great. Like he's kind of always a little, now of the 4 times now in the 5th, like, with the insurrection, the 4 arrests, like there's been so many opportunities for him to be like harumph. And then like on the January 6th, he was like Antifa. And then when the Antifa thing fell apart, I think he was a little like, he did not like January 6th.
Yeah.
It was like, he was not one of those people that was like, this is great. He thought that was very bad.
Okay.
So he's one of those kind of Republicans where he's like, that you don't do that.
Right.
That's bad.
Yeah.
But he just tried to blame it on someone else. And when it became clear, because all those dumb motherfuckers took videos of themselves like, here I am.
Yeah.
Why are you arresting me? Because you all videoed yourselves bursting into the Capitol and pooping on it, and then someone got shot. You dumb fucks.
That'll do it.
They were all so surprised that they were shot, that they were arrested. They were so surprised.
To be fair, they were let to leave with sort of a little wave of the hand and a little toodaloo. So I can see being slightly surprised later on, being like, "Oh, you could have just done this one and you let me out."
I mean, it makes sense if you shoot a black child for taking a pack of Skittles, but all I did was punch a Capitol officer, break a window, climb into the Capitol, shit on a desk, and shoot a gun in the air.
Yeah. Anyway, Maureen, 34 counts.
Dan, I have one wish.
Mm-hmm.
This is my trying to send this thought out into the world.
Yeah.
Democrats, I swear to God, do not text me and tell me you want $34. I swear to fuck, you have been texting me all goddamn day for 2 days. And I get that. But do not ask me for $34. That will not fly. It's too twee. I don't like it.
The teen said he got a text last night from Move On, where if you just gave them your email address, they would send you a sticker of Trump's mugshot. And I was like, come on, people.
Come on, we can do better than this.
We can do better than this.
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Or can we, Dan? Actually, we cannot.
Well, I mean,
we absolutely cannot do better than this.
I think some people could do better than this, but these people, not so much.
We could be doing better than we are actually doing.
Yes.
But you know what?
That's generally true.
That is correct.
Generally true and specifically true.
Dan, 8 years. Now we are facing down election 3. Mm-hmm. He's just been convicted of 34 counts. He's guilty of a felony. He is now a convicted felon.
Mm-hmm.
Convicted felon who led an insurrection.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I want to go back and actually just listen to episode 1 and listen to our dumb problems and we thought was complicated.
Yep. Yeah. We were just a bunch of dumb fucks back then.
We knew nothing. We had hay in our hair and no shoes on.
Mm-hmm. We were like little baby birds. If we had fallen out of the nest, we would just have been dead.
Oh, no. Too much TV.
Yeah. Now drop us from the nest and we'll just fucking leave an impact crater.
If you drop us from the nest, we would immediately turn into some sort of Mad Max going to gasoline town for birds.
Oh, Maureen Johnson.
I mean, that's the only trial we're likely to get before this election.
It seems that way. I mean, I was reading back over what is still outstanding. And the Jan 6 one, which honestly is the most impactful of all of them in terms of potentially putting the man in jail and shit. That one is waiting on the Supreme Court, which we will hear from them late June, early July. But the general sense is the ruling that they will give will bounce this back to be sorted out in courts. The question of whether he is immune or not, but it will become, what is he immune of? Right. And what isn't he? And that will need to be sorted by various courts. So, there is a possibility that a ruling could come through that could move that one forward again. But it seems like the larger possibility is that that ruling will just slow it down even more. Florida, the judge is just slow rolling as slow rolling can be. There is no set date. In Georgia, they've never even gotten to the point of scheduling a trial, let alone delaying that schedule. So, yeah, this is it. Likely, this is it.
And he knows. So this was the state one. So there's nothing he can do about this. I mean, he appeals, obviously.
Yeah, he'll appeal it. It'll move through the various courts. It will take a long time before it is really done. He is up for sentencing in July, but
that's what I'm wondering, Dan, is like, say you go to sentencing and then say the sentence was like 5 days in jail.
Right.
Then do you not have to serve because you're appealing?
This is a question that I don't know the answer to.
Yeah, this is confusing because I think a lot of times the appeal process works with people that are like in jail for extended periods of time. But like if he's like, you have to sit in there all afternoon or something like that, like
right,
then likely that would just happen. And then God, the
likely sentence will involve probation, at which point the appeal process will continue through. The funniest thing to me to come out of this is imagining the parole officer that has to deal with Donald Trump. I love it so much because it's just some fucking seen it all New Yorker who now has to deal with this bullshit in their life too.
It's that attitude, because people were asking, like, what was the attitude like in Manhattan? And I'll give you an example of just the other day. I was walking my dog down in PA, in a suburban town. Every morning I would take her out to this little tiny square of lawn in front of the house to pee.
Yeah.
Like, that's where she does her morning wee wee. So I'm half in pajamas, like I'm in a t-shirt. And I'm just like quickly just stand out. And this town where nothing ever happens, I notice a woman is walking down the sidewalk towards us, not thinking anything about it in particular. I'm just noticing that Dexy's noticing her. And then I see that one of our local police cars slow and then kind of diagonal pull into our driveway. Again, that's not so unusual because I thought he was trying to back up and turn around or something like that. And then another state police car pulls up, and then another state in front of our house, Dad. The cop car is in our driveway. And the cop who I know gets out. And then 2 state police cars pull up. And suddenly our house, this is a tiny lawn, Dan. This is a front lawn that's like, 20 feet by, 10 feet. It's like, I'm just standing there with the dog like, 3 police cars pull up and they surround this woman and they start talking to her. And the cop, one of them was like, kind of signals for me to move away with the dog. And I'm just like, what's happening? Like, I just came outside. Like,
yeah,
nothing ever happens here. And but the thing was, I was so unfazed by it. I was like, oh, okay. So I just kind of signaled like, hey, I'm going to take her inside.
Yeah.
And apparently this woman like stole a car and started a fight down the street, or like,
oh, geez.
Something had happened. This woman like had like punched somebody and taken a car. And because I heard a little bit of it, I only realized when I brought her in that I was just kind of standing there waiting for them to go away, how completely unfazed I was by it. Like, it meant, I was like, oh, I was like, that's weird. There's 3 cop cars outside and they're arresting a woman in our driveway, outside our front door, 8 feet from the door. And Mom was like, what? Because this does not happen in this little tiny town. But that's the New York spirit of like, what? Oh, fuck what? Like that. So my mom was like, are people dancing in the street? I'm like, I mean, people went to bars. That's what bars are for. It was like good. It was like good SantaCon. You know what I mean? Like everybody was like, drink. It was like, Pride's come early. Like everybody just kind of went out and had a nice time. But it was like, I mean, he just then got stuck in traffic. And then there's going to be this guy who's seen everybody who's going to be like, he's like, what's your fucking deal?
Right.
Hey, fucko.
I just love it. I love that image. I mean, I think the thing to me, like, I was like, oh, that's hilarious that he was convicted, right? But like the sort of dancing in the street level of like beating him in the election, or even like the level of just pure everyone dunking of him getting COVID. I didn't feel like we got there, you know, and I think that's largely due to the fact that we've seen this shit play out too many times now. Right. And like nobody is really, unless you're living under a real rock, like nobody, I think, has any illusion that this is going to have a real impact. You know, like I feel like I got a bunch of texts and messages from people. And they were like, oh, my God. And then they were like, this isn't going to do anything. Right. And it was like, that was sort of I feel like that was everyone's reaction, where it was like, well, we're having fun here, aren't we? Also,
I think it's a little better than that, because I think that no matter what, even if we're not going to get like it all stuff, it's not going to stop or anything. Right. I do think there are going to be some people, I do believe this, that are like, a little like sort of like my dad, but not quite as grouchy, that are like, do you really want to vote for a guy who's actually a convicted felon? There's going to be a couple people that don't love it.
Right. There are going to be a couple of people that don't love it.
And I think might not do it, like might just not show up. I don't think they'd flip their vote, but I think it would be enough that they're like, ugh.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that's possible, but I think that there are plenty of people that are not showing up on all sides right now, right? Like, so
This is the election no one, much like the election in the UK, there's two major elections this year that no one, like, that could be everything. We could have so much. We could be doing so much at this incredibly important point of time where things need to be done.
Yeah.
Like, we sent a flotilla, like a bridge to Gaza to get the supplies in because we have to feed the people that we're helping to bomb.
Yeah.
And then the fucking supply bridge broke.
Yeah.
Like, we could be doing so many things.
I mean, we could have just insisted that supplies get through.
We could have done a lot of things.
We could have done that and not have to build an entire fucking bridge.
There's a lot of things we could be doing better right now, Dan.
Yeah.
And a lot of better decisions could be being made. And this is a time of opportunity. And
All right.
But no one's going to take that opportunity. We need to do so many huge things, and no one's putting huge things on the table except bad things.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, no, we can't take any major steps in any direction. Oh, good. Great. Yeah. Okay, then you have a major hole. The boat is sinking. There's a 1 foot hole in the bottom of the boat, and you have a little tiny cork that you're going to drop into it.
Yeah. But you just keep insisting that it's good we're in a boat.
Yeah.
And it's true right now.
Yeah, it's true for a couple of minutes.
In a sinking boat than in the open ocean, but what is the process here to make it not sink?
And the water is like everything is like our cups and our shoes are floating, and we're like, we could be doing so much better. But some people individually, like those, I mean, they put a case together, Dan, and they won it.
Yeah, they did
put a lot of work in. And you know what? Those fucking weird people that they got for that jury who had no opinions are putting themselves on the line to do this.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I feel like they probably thought they were putting themselves on the line. I would be nervous, certainly. But certainly with the people on the Trump side, those people are crazy, and they have already taken the Capitol once. So, like, I would be frightened.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was reading an article this morning about how they're already
trying to
doxing the jurors, and I mean, it's not a good situation.
No.
It will become a bad situation very rapidly.
Unless it's just kind of done, and although you want to intimidate future jurors because we have 3 more cases.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I mean,
so that took a lot of bravery.
Yeah, definitely. And they came back quite quickly. I mean, they were really only out for a day. It was about 24 hours from the time they got it to the time that they said they were ready to go.
And they asked to listen to parts. That was the part I remember about being in court in New York, is like, it's just like you ask for things and you wait for hours to get them.
Yeah.
And then, like, we asked for something in the murder trial and we're like, can you read us back this? And then we waited for 4 hours and they came back. They're like, that does not exist, because they'd had to strike it from the.
Oh, yeah.
So we wait, but you just wait for stuff, and you just like, can we hear this? And they're like, get pencils, somebody get a gramophone. They have to wind it up and play the recording back to you. Like, they probably went a little faster in this trial, but like, it's still like a lot of sitting around and waiting. And that was maybe one of my favorite parts. Like, when all the time he just had to fuck around and just sit there.
Especially that last 24-hour window where you have to be in the courthouse.
Yeah, you just have to sit there.
You just got to chill. I kind of wish they had drawn that out for him a little bit longer.
Yeah. Although I do like that they came right back and were like, you did this.
Yeah. Unequivocally, you did it. Had he even been found not guilty on one count, that's all you would hear. That he was exonerated.
Right.
So I appreciate their thoroughness.
They didn't. That's not what they found.
No, that is not what they found.
This beautiful thing, Dan.
It was. We got to have that as a treat.
I think that we are coming now. Today is the 1st of June as we record.
It is.
So I think the overture has played.
Okay.
On 2024. It was a long overture.
It was.
But it had a big boom for the first opening act. The opening act you always have a big opening act, and this was a pretty big opening act.
Yeah.
we're moving into the summer, Dan. We're going to start to see those debates soon.
Yeah, we got 26 days till the first debate, Maureen. That's going to be a shit show.
I wasn't ready to hear that, Dan.
An absolute shit show.
Do we have to watch it? You and me?
I mean, we don't have to do anything.
I know that's true, but I believe that we probably should. We might just want to have a live stream on that one just to get through
that
it.
You just talked yourself out of and then into. And then you were like, well, if I'm in, I'm going all the way in.
Correct.
I mean, we can figure that out.
I can't do that alone is what I'm saying.
Okay, we could do it.
I can't do that.
Just live stream that shit.
I can't. Am I going to be in Philly for that? Oh, I might be. Ooh.
Oof.
Ooh.
TBD.
No. I'll make sure not to be. Did you say the 26th?
I think it's the 27th.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I'll probably be in New York.
June 27th, yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably be in New York because that week, we're doing some of the early release stuff for Death at Morning House, and I can't say what is happening, but Harper's doing something. I can't. I'll have to tell you when we're
in bear suits.
I'm gonna tell you when we're done recording.
Oh, that's fun.
It's so exciting. It's so exciting. It might
bears in clown suits.
I think about that when you told your son there was a clown out the window that just every time he turned he would duck
for his birthday.
It's the best thing I've ever heard.
It was a good one. That was a proud moment in my life for sure.
I think there's a reason your kids turned out so good.
They're good. I like those dudes.
Because you're good and you also raise them by doing stuff like that. Because they know what's what.
They do know what's what.
They know there's no clown out the window, but that someone might say so. And I think that's important information, a good mindset to walk around this world in. So there's no clown outside.
He believed me for a while.
Listen, the clowns are in the room with us right now. Don't worry about the clowns outside. I'm
excited for the clowns at your book thing, though. That's exciting.
I'll tell you when we're done.
Bears in clown suits.
Do you know what do you think it is? What do you think it is?
Bears in clown suits.
All right. Well, I wonder what will happen this week, Dan. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Stay vigilant.